Hello, and thank you for joining me today for the Mid-America Arts Alliance webinar about the Artistic Innovations Program Grant. I am Christine Doderick-Weil, the Program Specialist for all grant-making opportunities Mid-America has to offer. My intention today is to offer a brief overview about Mid-America Arts Alliance and the Artistic Innovations Program Grant. Mid-America Arts Alliance is one of 6 nonprofit regional arts organizations in the country. Each regional arts organization offers a variety of national and regional programs. The programs our sister regional arts organizations offer are multifaceted and could take us considerably off topic today. So instead, I recommend you spend time on their websites and join their email lists for the latest news about their programs. Keep in mind that some programs the regional arts organizations offer are regionally based, which means there may be times in which you are not eligible for consideration simply because you do not live in their regional state service area. That being said, each RAO does offer at least one national program for which you may be eligible. Since 1972, when Mid-America Arts Alliance opened its doors, we have had the pleasure of working at various times in partnership with all 3 federal arts and culture agencies: the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and the National Endowment for the Arts. Mid-America also maintains a partnership agreement with 6 state arts agencies that we commonly refer to as our region. Starting in the north and working our way south, this includes Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas. While federal arts and culture agency programs are available nationwide, state agency programs are typically available only to those that reside or are incorporated in its respective state. But exceptions do occur from time to time, so it can't hurt to contact those agencies if you feel a program they offer may be pertinent to you or your organization. Like our sister regional arts organizations, the federal and state agencies maintain websites and email newsletters about their programs as well, so please check them out. Mid-America Arts Alliance's mission is to strengthen and support artists, cultural organizations, and communities throughout our region and beyond. We are especially committed to enriching the cultural life of underserved communities by providing high-quality, meaningful, and accessible arts and culture programs and services. In essence, our core purpose is more art for more people. Currently, Mid-America's national offerings include 2 touring exhibition programs, Exhibits USA and NEH on the Road. Both programs tour exhibitions of varying scale for 5, 7, and 10-week terms. EUSA focuses on fine art exhibitions that are curated, created, and then routed across the country by my colleagues. The NEH on the Road program is just that. The National Endowment for the Humanities is exhibitions scaled down for touring to small and mid-sized museums while maintaining the overall integrity of the original, larger exhibition. EUSA and NEH on the Road exhibitions are ready to install and come with a variety of resources, including ancillary educational materials and additional programming grants. These are Mid-America Arts Alliance's national programs. All exhibitions are heavily subsidized, especially for our in-region venues, with some rental fees as low as $1,000. If you are located here in Kansas City or are visiting Kansas City, please come by of a First Friday when we often have one of our exhibitions on display in our Culture Lab and convening space. Mid-America's professional development programs include Artist Inc. and Engage. Both programs work across disciplines to help organizations and individual artists better understand and implement best business practices. These programs involve on-site consultations, networking, peer mentoring, topic expert presentations, and hands-on learning opportunities. And last but not least, Mid-America Arts Alliance offers 2 grant programs, Artistic Innovations and the Regional Touring Program. All 6 state arts agencies in the Mid-America region maintain touring or teaching artist rosters. All 6 state arts agencies also offer grants to the respective arts and culture organizations that book those same touring and teaching artists. Mid-America Arts Alliance builds upon these state programs through the Regional Touring Program grant by supporting what we affectionately refer to as interstate trafficking of in-region artists. The Regional Touring Program grant is available for organizations across the region who book in-region, out-of-state artists. Mid-America gives preference to projects involving artists who are listed on their respective state arts agency teaching and touring rosters by underwriting up to 50% of those artists' contract fees. If an artist is not listed on the region's state rosters, this grant opportunity still will underwrite 25% of the artist fees. The Artistic Innovations Grant Program encourages the spirit of experimentation and exploration by supporting most direct costs related to the creation and premiere of new original works. These works by in-region artists bring new original experiences to audiences across the region, and we hope ultimately raises the visibility of or leverages new opportunities for the grantees. Individual artists and organizations can request up to $15,000. There is a 1-to-1 match for this grant money. Organizational recipients will need to match the grant with cash, whereas individual artists who apply can meet this match through a combination of cash and in-kind contributions. Eligible artistic innovation projects must include at least one public premiere of the project in conjunction with at least one outreach activity during the grant period. The outreach activity is an integral part of the project and should show evidence of thoughtful planning and implementation, building a greater appreciation for the new work. The project can include a combination of creative disciplines across various formats, from performance to exhibition to film and media, including publication, lecture demonstrations, or workshops. A great artistic innovations project has art making, or artists at the heart of the initiative and introduces a new or original idea or product to the audience. The project must exclusively engage artists who reside in Mid-America's 6-state region, and the project must take place in Mid-America's region. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Who can apply? Eligible applicants include individual artists or organizations who are not current recipients of an Artistic Innovations grant. More specifically, the organizations must be a nonprofit 501c3 tax-exempt organization, a unit of state or local government, or a federally recognized tribal entity. An applicant can submit only one letter of intent in any given fiscal year. Now let's shift over to the Mid-America website and the call for letters of intent, which is currently available and will close on Monday, October 30th, 2017. So here is Mid-America's website. Once you're here at www.ma.org, I ask that you click on the Grants tab, which will take you to the Grants homepage. Here you'll find more information about both the Artistic Innovations Grant as well as the Regional Touring Program. When you click on Artistic Innovations, it will take you to this page. This is where many of you may have registered for this webinar to begin with. Here you will find links to both the call for letters of intent as well as the link that was for this webinar. When you click on the call for letters of intent, it brings up a downloadable PDF document that will allow you to review the materials offline. I think it's important that you take the time to actually read through these guidelines from top to bottom, even though much of it will be a repeat of what I've already referenced today. The actual link to the letter of intent form is at the top of page 3. That is followed by a checklist of what is needed to complete that very form. You'll find that this letter of intent is essentially 20 questions. Well, in truth, it's 21. It is the first step in the Artistic Innovations proposal process. I want to be sure that before you spend a concerted amount of time and effort on creating a proposal, that the project in question fits the overall broad general criteria. So, here in this letter of intent form, we ask for applicant information, starting here at the very top. We will ask about your legal status and who you are. Are you in the region? And are you eligible for consideration? The funding for this grant program derives primarily from the National Endowment for the Arts, which means we are required to ask for and verify demographic information, including congressional and state legislative information. You'll find that those are listed as the 5th, 6th, and 7th fields that you'll come across in the form. If you are an organizational applicant, you must also provide 2 key data points: the organization's federal employee identification number, as well as the organization's Data Universal Numbering System ID. Sometimes that's referred to as the DUNS number. The EIN, the Federal Employer Identification Number, that is found on the organization's federal IRS 501c3 paperwork. If your organization does not have a DUNS number, you must take the time to apply for one through Dun & Bradstreet. Just plug in the letters DUNS in any internet search engine, and it should take you right there. For me this afternoon, it took me here. Applying for a DUNS number is free, but it can take up to 30 days to be assigned, so plan accordingly. If you think your organization has a DUNS number, but you aren't sure, you can look up your DUNS number on this website. Simply hover over DUNS number and click on DUNS number lookup. And if you find that the deadline is ever fast approaching upon you, please let me know that you don't have a DUNS number at this point in time, but that you have at least applied for one. I don't want that one detail to keep you from submitting a letter of intent. So let's discuss the options about how you notify me when that information is available. Again, the EIN and the DUNS number, those are both only required of organizations applying for this grant opportunity. Last in the applicant information section is a request for the applicant's mission statement or the artist statement. Most organizations have formal mission statements, but I often get questions from individual artist applicants about what an artist statement is. I've checked with my Artist Inc. Colleagues, and they have told me and confirmed that it is generally a 3 to 5 sentence paragraph describing the how, the what, and the why behind your creative endeavors. This is not the project description. The project description comes later in the form. Instead, the mission statement or the artist statement offers just enough information to the reader so that they can imagine the work that the organization does or the art that the individual applicant makes without it being right in front of them. Following the applicant information section, we move on to gathering information about the project. Here you see we ask for the project's primary discipline. This might be the same as the applicant's primary artistic discipline that we asked for in the applicant section in number 10. But it can also be very different if the project is the kind that takes your work in a new direction, or it is heavily influenced by other collaborators. And speaking of collaborators and partners, they are not required. However, many projects do take advantage of developing new relationships. So if that is the case with your project, you have a chance to describe who you're working with and how you decided to join forces when you answer questions about key individual and organizational partners. Those are sections 16, 17, 18, and 19 of the form. And last but not least, we talk about money. What is the total project budget, and what amount are you requesting from Mid-America through this letter of intent form? Keep in mind that all projects require a one-to-one match. That is a dollar-for-dollar match. So if you are requesting $5,000 from Mid-America, then your overall budget for your project must be at least $10,000. A more detailed, itemized budget will be required if and when you are invited to submit a proposal. So now let's take a look at the actual letter of intent form. So if you were to click on this link, it will take you here to the Artistic Innovations Grant Letter of Intent form for fiscal year 19. Those of you who have applied for grants with Mid-America Arts Alliance in the last few years will notice a change in the look of our online forms. We have migrated our database to Salesforce, and with that comes a few other changes, including the use of Form Assembly instead of Submittable as our application platform. Please let me know if you have difficulty navigating the form. You'll see that you can save information in the online form by scrolling to the top or to the bottom of the screen and clicking Save My Progress and Resume Later. When you click that, it will ask you for your email and a password and then ask you to confirm that password one more time. Once you click Save, an email will be sent to the email you listed that includes a link back to this form. In order to access the form, you'll need to use that password. So please make note of it when you click Save. When you come to the form, you'll see that it seems to start right away with project information. I ask that you go through the questions one at a time, individually, and when you get to the question about the applicant's legal status and select what sort of applicant you are, there will be sections that pop up that are specific to that type of applicant. So here you see the individual applicant section has popped up, and it includes a request for the artist statement. It asks if the artist is at least 21 years old and has lived in the Mid-America region for at least 2 years, and if you're awarded this grant, that you intend to remain in the region during the grant period. And then there's also the opportunity to upload your artist resume. If instead you select that you are an organization, a different kind of format comes up, and that includes a request for information about your EIN number as well as the DUNS number. No matter what kind of applicant you are, your project information section remains the same. You'll see that we do ask for the project description, and then there is the section where you can list the key individuals. For organizations, we want you to know why you chose the artists that are involved in the project. For individual applicants who are already the artists that's involved in the project, we would like to know what drew you to this project, what has inspired you to do this and to move forward. In the next field here for key individual biography, that's exactly what we're looking for. We are looking for information that might be put into a program, perhaps, at the premiere of the event. So it should be limited to about 125 words. If you have more than one artist that's involved in the project, I ask that you click Add Another Bio, and another field will pop up in order for you to continue describing the next person that's involved with the project. Once you're done describing the artist, we ask if this project involves at least one organizational partner. Remember, again, it is not required, but if there are organizational partners, or there might be, clicking on yes or maybe brings up the section where you can give us additional information about how you chose those partners and who they are. Again, if there is more than one organizational partner that you are working with, there is also the opportunity to add yet another field so that you can continue to describe each one individually. And then last but not least, of course, we come to the financial aspect. Here I'm just simply looking for the grand figure of what you believe your budget for the overall project will be, and then the amount that you're requesting from Mid-America, keeping in mind that this is a dollar-for-dollar match that's required, and that the maximum amount that Mid-America could offer is $15,000 for this particular grant. There is no bottom limit, though, so you are able to request as little money as you think would be needed to make your project happen. But please do consider all the various aspects of what's involved in your project. Be sure that you're paying your artist an appropriate amount, and be sure that you're thinking about all of the supplies and the marketing and the various key partners that are involved. We really want this to be a success for you, and we don't want you to sell yourself short. So that's the form. Given that information, I'm going to take us back over now to the slideshow to go over the timeline. So as I've mentioned before, the letter of intent form is due at the stroke of midnight, so 11:59 on October 30th, 2017. It's my intention to review all of those letters of intent that come in and return an update to you about the status of your letter of intent before Thanksgiving. In the guidelines, it says I will notify you by November 20th, and I'm going to do my best to maintain that deadline, but that really does depend upon the sheer number of letters of intent that are submitted. If you are invited to submit a proposal, the guidelines will be emailed to you. I plan to offer another webinar in December or January for those who are invited to submit a proposal, and will provide that information to you at the time that you receive that request for proposals. As I've said before, the proposal deadline is January 22nd, 2018. We will notify you about the awards middle of June after our board meeting. So between January and June, I will hold discipline-specific panels to review the various kinds of projects that have been submitted. And those rankings and feedback are taken into consideration alongside the budget for this particular grant program. And then we present that information to our board of directors for their approval at the meeting that usually happens the first week of June. And that's why it may take me until the midweek of June to notify you of the ultimate outcome. Then a grant agreement will be sent to you for your consideration. And once that grant agreement is returned, the first 50% of the grant amount will be sent out to you. The second half of your grant is sent to you after the final report has been submitted. All projects must take place between July 1st, 2018 and June 30th, 2019. Those projects' dates are meant to be the time period in which the activities that are in front of a public audience, those activities must happen during those dates. I know that a lot of projects take a lot of planning up front, and you may even be doing a lot of planning even now, and that is quite all right. It's just that the public activities must take place between July 1, 2018 and June 30, 2019 in order for this grant to be awarded to you for your project. That is the Artistic Innovations Grant Program, and I thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. My name is Christine Dodderwick-Bile. I am the Program Specialist for Mid-America Arts Alliance, and I can be reached here at christine@ma.org, or you can call me 816-421-1388. I'm at extension #227, and you do need to push #227 in order to reach me directly. I'm happy to set up one-on-one conversations by phone or in person if you happen to be nearby. So feel free to reach out with any question. No question is inconsequential. Please feel free to reach out to me and ask away. I look forward to reading your materials and working with you through the grant and proposal process. And again, I wish you the best of luck. Thanks so much for your time. Take care.